What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another portfolio update for my stocks and shares ISA. As you guys can see, if you look at the performance of the S&P 500 over the last week, we're up 1.43%, which is a pretty good performance. However, if you look at my portfolio, we're actually basically flat on the week from Tesla stock. If we see, we did have the rollout of their full self-driving, their first paid full self-driving rides going out to customers, which was good. That came on schedule. However, there is a slight disappointment about how restricted that service currently is, which is probably why we saw after the massive increase when it jumped 10% due to after all of the hype surrounding it, we did see it go back to the pre-spike because it is so limited in terms of who can access it, the area that it's operating. However, one thing that I will say is, obviously not financial advice, I do think the way that this will scale will be happening a lot faster than people realize. Obviously, Tesla are being very cautious about the rollout because they know if something bad does happen, it will massively stop how fast they can then scale. So what they're doing is taking extra care in the first part of the rollout, so then once they perfect it, the second part will go a lot faster, rather than if they went fast at the beginning, something happened, and then that would force the second part of the rollout to be a lot slower. So I do think the way that Tesla are approaching this is the right approach. Obviously, we will, it's still to be seen whether that's going to be the case. Anyway, so what does that mean for my portfolio? Well, we're basically flat on the week, so I'm currently up 19.83%, just because I have been buying at these higher prices, continue to buy. My average price is now at 254.39. I am sitting at 420 shares, which is quite nice. Obviously, that's without adding my other 105 shares. If you add my other 105 shares from my other account, I'm sitting at 525, and I kind of want to be at 550 by the end of 2025. So, and considering we're halfway through, that's looking like I'm going to hit that goal. If you guys want to let me know what other stocks I should be investing in after I hit my goal of 550 Tesla shares, please let me know down below. Obviously, I'm not going to be buying stuff straight away. I want to hit the 550 first. But yeah, obviously some other news is that Nvidia has been doing really well, up 9.3% last week. Obviously, I did have a share of Nvidia that I did sell after after the massive dip, the whole Trump Elon escapade. I did sell my share of Nvidia to buy at like $277. So that I am up on that share that I bought as a result of my Nvidia sale. However, I have missed out on this 10% gain. So obviously, when you look at the stock market, it's all about opportunity cost. It's trying to obviously the cost of me selling my Nvidia share and buying Tesla is this. I've missed out on the 9.3% return. But obviously, you have to try and work out, okay, I'm going to effectively lose money for an opportunity cost there. So I've got to make more money in the other investment. And obviously, I'm not doing that well on my Tesla position if you compare it to other positions like other companies like Palantir. Obviously, there's a massive cost of me choosing to invest in Tesla over Palantir right now. However, I do think over the next 5-10 years that from where we're sitting at, like Palantir, Nvidia, all these companies, I do think Tesla will grow the most. Risk adjusted, obviously, just because there could be some startup that does a 20 or 50x. But obviously that there's a lot of risk associated with these smaller run companies. I'm talking about in terms of these mega caps that are generally safe companies. I do think Tesla will generally perform the best out of all of them. So if we go into my portfolio, we are currently we've gone below the £100,000 mark. We're at £98,000, £689. Over the last week, we are down 1.9% due to, some FX impact, and, also Tesla has kind of stayed the same price, but The 1.9%, that's mainly going to come from FX impact. Currently, on my ISA allowance, I've used 8,250. I've still got 11,750 left. I'm just continuing to put in like between £400 and £600 a week until I max it out, and then I'm just going to be going into my general investing account, just sitting at like £50 in cash, and then £98,000 in investments. Currently in this account, I've got 420 Tesla shares. It's kind of a nice number. I kind of want to leave it at 420, but no, yeah, it's only going to be like that for a week before I just buy more Tesla shares. So yeah, that's currently what my account's sitting at. It's I'm a bit annoyed over because over the past month, down 11%. 3 months I'm up 11%, up 7%, but that's coming down from a massive decrease. Year is still up 32.5%. However, a lot of that will be from deposits. If we look from a year ago, net deposits were sitting at 66k, and obviously net deposits now sitting at 87k. So a lot of that growth, that 32.5%, is coming from net deposits, and obviously max 28.8% rate of return is fine, but then that factors in like new money coming into the account. If you actually look at 87 grand over the 4.5 years I've been invested, growing to 98, it's not that great of a return, and that's just generally because Tesla has been relatively flat over my investing period, because I did miss out on the massive increase. It had the 10x just before I turned 18 and was able to get into investing. So obviously, if I could have invested in Tesla pre to that 10x that we had, in 2019, 2020, I'd be massively up. But I wasn't 18 yet, so I couldn't invest that part. But I think all considering, a lot of my return has come from new money in. But generally, when you are building that first six-figure portfolio, unless you pick like a stock that does really well, you can't expect. You go from 10k to 100k. A lot of your 100k, and that's what I've learned, is a lot of your first 100k is going to be from the money you put in. So that's the main thing I've just been focusing on, is just putting in the money, and just basically, I'm happy with my investment as Tesla, and I've just not been looking at the price, just sitting back and just continue to put more money into it. A lot of people would say, that I've got tunnel vision, and I'm not, I'm it's a bit of a risky strategy, but I'm happy with how it's going so far, so I'm just going to continue to do that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share with anyone else who might be interested. Anyway, that's it for me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.